I'm going to start with the eldest children and work my way backwards, because I think when you do that you can really see a difference unfold. Older kids obviously aren't immune to this. The first one here is 13 years old. It's in Steel Creek, a border town which we see a lot. It's the border of North and South Carolina. He was taking his dog out for a walk, just out to the garden by the looks of it, have a wee, and a car slowly pulls up. A man gets out of the car and starts walking towards him. He froze, he was petrified. I think the guy that got out of the car thought that he was there alone or thought that he was home alone. He wasn't. His dad came out and confronted him, and the guy says that he was wondering about the aeroplane noise, some excuse like that. But I think it's important to show that this can happen. Kids can freeze. And this is an older boy, this is a 13-year-old boy. He's not like an inner city 13-year-old, He's a bit softer, but not totally unaware that things like these happen, because you'll hear his mother talking about how they always told him about this sort of thing. Here's the clip.
It was literally seconds as soon as he walked out the door. There was a strange guy who pulled up in his car, parked the car, turned the lights out, got out of the car, and started walking towards my son.
Honey. Did you live here already, huh?
He started to freeze up. He was scared.
How long do you live here already? What you got to ask my son?
Oh, I was wondering about the airplane noise.
We have taught him and his sister stranger danger for years on end. It was at that moment where he completely froze.
The next one is a 13-year-old girl that's in just a general store with her mother. So this guy was in the store acting weird. He just grabs her and tries to drag her out of the store. The mother frantically holds onto her. They eventually get the kid away. He runs outside. There's an off-duty cop that sees what's going on and he's able to detain him, but a complete psychopath. He wasn't sent to prison, he was sent to the psych ward. The girl was physically okay, other than being traumatised for the rest of her life, I assume. Number 3 is an 11-year-old, so we're after dropping down 2 years. An 11-year-old girl at a bus stop waiting to go to school, and a man runs out with a knife, tries to grab her, tries to drag her into the car. She's able to break away. I don't know, did she bite him? I think she might have. He runs off in the car. She did say to the school, and they said it to her parents, about being approached by a guy 2 weeks previous, and they had dropped her to school every day. This was the first day that they left her get the bus again. The guy was found nearby. He wasn't very far. He was actually covered in slime that she was playing with. The fourth one is a rough one. I have a good clip for you here as well. So this is an 11-year-old girl. She's walking to a weekend programme and a man starts following her in his car. He then started shouting out to her, asking questions. He called, she ignored all his questions. She started walking faster, he sped up, and this girl was terrified and she knew she was in trouble. He got her, he grabbed her, he was trying to drag her into the car. He had a baseball bat. But luckily a neighbour, a hero, overheard and probably saved her life. The guy that went to grab her was a registered sex offender, a dangerous man. I'll play a clip here. It will start with the neighbour coming out of his house with a baseball bat, and I let him tell the story because you can tell by him it was a close call, and he shook.
He was gonna hit her with the bat. He had the bat over her and he had her down. It was just nerve-wracking. He literally had her sideways and she's fighting with him, and then she trying to put her in the car head first. When I saw her, she was kicking to get out of the car. Then that's when I yelled and I told her, "Do you know him?" She says, "No, please help me." She got tired and made it to this door, but the door wasn't open. So that's when he trapped in between the gates and he grabbed her. He fought, she kicked, she screamed, she did everything way in the world. I was going to let him leave. God knows what he would have done. When you think about it, what if I didn't help her? What if I didn't do that? What he was going to do to her? I didn't say anything to him. I just let him talk. As long as he kept his mind off of her, then I knew she was okay. You repeat that to your kids 100 times. You tell your kids 100 times to be alert, to be careful, and then to see it, to physically see it, it's heartbreaking.
Number 5 is a 10-year-old boy. He was on the way home from baseball practice and there was a car pulling up asking him did he want candy. He said no, was ignoring it. And you can see here at the start of the clip, as he's coming up home, he kind of just cocks his head to the left to keep an eye, is the car still there? The car turns the corner to come down by his house. He checks the door is locked, and then he panics. He actually throws 2 stones at the car, screams for his mother, and runs to the neighbour's house. He did very well. Next we have an 8-year-old girl called Salem. This was in Texas. She was just walking down the road with her mother and someone grabbed her, pulled her into the car. The mother then tried to dive into the car, but they were able to throw her out, kick her out. She falls to the road. This is captured on a Ring doorbell camera, and straight away an Amber Alert was issued. There was some locals who found the car in a hotel, wrecked the car. When the police came, they found her inside the hotel. She was fine. She was unharmed, thank God. Michael Webb, the guy that did it and the guy that took her, were sentenced to life in prison, which you love to see. The next one is a 7-year-old called Brittany Baxter. She was in a toy shop. Her mother was just a few feet away from her. She felt a creepy guy kind of behind her, asked her a few questions. She ignored, said she was going to go back to her mother, and when she did that, he put his hand over her mouth, grabbed her, tried to take her out of the shop. Again, another dangerous man. His car was caught in CCTV and they found him pretty fast. He had previously been convicted for manslaughter. He killed his uncle back in 2004. The little girl didn't freeze. She started kicking and screaming, thank God. And the last one, this is a big jump down. We're jumping down now from 7 years old to 4-year-old. A 4-year-old girl. She stepped into a phone shop with her mother and her baby sister, and she starts playing with the sweets just inside the door. Her mother goes off to the queue, checks on the baby. You can see the guy in the shop as well kind of has a look back. He was very fast to react as well. And next thing, bang, someone just grabs her. The mother screams, everyone runs out. There was loads of people outside who kind of seen it, and they were able to get the girl and hold your man down. He was just sitting down in the road, laughing, another psychopath. But I wanted to show that example with younger kids, because usually with younger kids, they're lured away rather than kind of grabbed. And that's what I want to talk about in the next video, because there's a big difference when they start to ask questions, gain trust, and lure the kids away. And it's very successful with younger kids. All these examples here were mostly older kids, violent, kids kind of being grabbed. In the next video, I'll show you CCTV and examples of kids being lured. All smaller kids, but it's just frighteningly easy to be able to lure a small child away. I'll talk about that in the next video. Thanks to all my lovely YouTube members and my Patreons. Good luck, God bless, have a good day.